Hi there. So I'm going to explain how to change a general form equation to a standard form equation when we're dealing with circle equations. So this is the general form equation, and this is the standard form equation. As you can see, the standard form equation is grouped into two bunches of brackets, and the general form is an expanded form of the standard form. There are no brackets. And the standard form equation, the x is with the x coordinate of the center point. See, so the center point is hk. So h is the x coordinate and k is the y coordinate. So h, which is the x coordinate, is with the x, and the y is with the y coordinate. Okay? So here's an example of a general form equation that's already been filled out that we need to turn into a standard form equation. And the first step that we need to do is to group them together. To group. Okay, what do I mean by group? Well, we have to group the x's together and the y's together and the numbers together. So it's pretty simple. So we need to put the x's together, and we need to put the y's together, and then we need to put the numbers together, and there's only -3, and that's normal for a general form equation, plus c. And we move it to the other side, and makes it positive. So we did the first step already, and we're done with that. Next step is to complete the square. Okay, so look at this right here. We have a negative b squared, okay? Remember this? This ends up being like this because a negative b squared is this times by itself, so it looks like that. And if we use FOIL, we'd be going a times a is a squared, then an a times negative b is negative ab, and then negative b times a is negative ab again, and then negative b times negative b is b squared. So we end up with having a squared negative 2ab plus b squared. So what I'm trying to explain here is that we have this part of the equation, we have this in our general form. See? We have this part right there. And in the standard form, if you look up here, the standard form is in this type of equation. So we have to change this type of equation into this type of equation by completing the square. Because as you can see, after we grouped, we have x squared and negative 4x, but then we don't have this part, the b part. So we need to complete the square because once you square something, okay, we need to complete the square. Well, there's a missing part of our answer if we started off by squaring something right here. So how do we get this b? How do we complete the square? So completing the square, we take the middle number, which is -4 here. We take the middle number, divide it by 2, and square it. So -4 divided by 2 and square it. -4 divided by 2 is -2. -2 squared is 4. So we found out our b part, our b squared part of this equation. Now we have to do the exact same to the y squared plus 6. You have to find the b part. Oh, and by the way, when you put +4, make sure that you put +4 on the other side of the equation. Whenever you do on one half of the equation, you have to do on the other half. Okay? So the next step is this part. We need to find that out. Middle term is 6. So we take 6 divided by 2, and then you square it. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. And then we put it there. Now we've got our two full, completely squared equations, okay? And then we have to add +9, and then 3 + 4 + 9 is 16. So now we finish the second step, which is completing the square. The third step is we need to put the square sign, we need to put it outside the brackets, okay? Like right here, this is outside the brackets, you know? Because we started off with everything's already been squared, you know? It's already been expanded. But now we want to put them back into the brackets like the way they started. Okay? So the way we do it is pretty simple. As you can see, the answer here would be, we'd have an A, and then we'd have a sign, and then we'd have B. So we need two terms here. So we took A and we put it there, and then we took B and we put it there, and then we took the middle sign of the middle number, we took that and we put it in between the two terms, and then we put the square outside. So we have to do exactly the same thing with these. So what's here? An x squared, but we put just the x. We put the x right there, and then we'd put the sign in the middle term sign, which is a negative. We put it right there, and then we'd go here, which is a 4. Okay, 4 constitutes as a b squared. So b squared is equal to 4. But we want a b because here it's a b. Inside the brackets it's just a b, it's not b squared. So we need to square root 4, and that ends up being 2. So we end up putting 2 here. And then we do the same thing with y. We take y, we put it there, and then we take the middle term sign, which is a positive this time, we put it there. And then you go here, and this one as well constitutes as b squared, and we only need b, so square root of 9 is 3, so we end up putting 3 there. And there you go. We just add that all up. We put this group, this bracket group, we put it right there, and then we always put the x first and then the y. Okay, so the x group first, and then we put the y group, and then you put the numbers on the other side. There you go. That is your answer. I hope that was helpful.